Boys, we are so back. I know I haven't made a video in probably like close to 6 months now, to be honest. Honestly, just been on the grind with our personal accounts and client accounts, just really scaling them up. But in this video, I'm gonna be talking about how to make banger VSLs. And I know this is going to be a long video. You might have already looked. It might be like 20, 30, I don't even know. Might even be longer than that. But if you wanna separate yourself in e-com and dropshipping in general, this is the video that will help you do just that, because nobody is talking about VSLs, and anyone that is talking about VSLs doesn't really know what they're talking about. Here are my credentials on the screen. We're doing like 1.5 million a week right now across our client accounts and personal accounts. And before anyone goes crazy about this net profit number, yes, it is overinflated. One of our client accounts doesn't track their expenses correctly in Triple Whale, or they just haven't set them up. And this is made up of 9 different stores, 9 different brands. So yeah, hit a refresh there. Obviously, the number is still the same. And I don't do this to flex in any way. This is just kind of the industry we're in. People have to show their numbers, show their credentials before they start talking. And it makes sense, right? Like, you want to be learning from people that are actually high level and that are actually doing big numbers, rather than, plenty of people can do 20, 30K a month, then pretty much just push you on their course or program or whatever. And before we get started, no, I have nothing to sell you in this video. Our agency is actually at full capacity right now. And I'll be honest, 99% of you watching this right now probably wouldn't even qualify to join our agency. But anyways, less yapping and let's get right into it. So today we're talking about one of our client accounts that's doing just under 800K in the last 30 days. They're doing about 900K, bouncing between there on a month-to-month basis. And the reason I'm talking about them specifically is because 80% of their strategy in terms of launching new creatives is all VSLs. They do probably about 10% UGC and 10% image ads as well. And that's why I feel qualified to talk about this today, because I have so many inputs from plenty of different brands launching VSLs. I'm going to be breaking down examples. I'm going to be breaking down the structures, some overarching rules, everything that is involved in making VSLs that actually perform. So before we get into it, first I'm going to talk about why VSLs are so good. And first of all, they pre-qualify the fuck out of your customer. And the reason I say that is because these ads or VSLs are generally like 3 to 7 minutes long. They can be longer. I've launched like 9-minute VSLs, but for the most part, they're like 3 to 7 minutes. And if someone's getting through a 3 to 7 minute video, watching like about your brand or your problem or whatever you're introducing, they're going to be like a super hot lead that's coming to your landing page, as opposed to if you're launching, TikTok shop viral style videos that are like 30 seconds in length. Yeah, you might be able to get the click, but they're going to be coming over to your landing page with like really low intent, just like, oh, what's this over here? What's this brand talking about? Let's check out the price. That's all I care about. Whereas if you're getting people through your entire VSL, they are so bought in on that problem that's like ruining their life already, that they're just prepared to throw more money at that to get whatever desired transformation that you're kind of selling them on. Number 2, they also help you sell saturated shit. So the amount of people that I see and that I'm personally connected with that are selling like posture correctors and knee braces and like all these super saturated products is crazy, because they're doing it through VSLs and they're doing it through comprehensive funnels. And that's where they get the edge. It is literally impossible to start selling like a posture corrector or a knee brace if you're just doing like the standard UGC 1 minute long video and then sending them directly to a Shopify lander. It's just not gonna work. But if you're doing this approach with like the VSLs, the full funnel, using Funnelish, it's going to help you sell those so-called like saturated products. Not to mention, they also have like crazy longevity in the ad account. I've found personally that if you find like a winning UGC ad, you might be able to juice it for like a month, 2 months, sometimes 3 months. In rare cases, it might last longer than that, but the performance is usually kind of on the downtrend. With VSLs, I've had VSLs sustain super high levels of spend for like months and months on end, and they're just super consistent. So depending on your brand, if you're in a space where you think VSLs work, and in my opinion, VSLs work the best with like 40 plus customers, men or women. If you're in a space that has that sort of target demo, I can guarantee you're losing out on a ton of money. It's also just a lot more passive, in my opinion. They also allow you to charge way more because, again, you're pre-qualifying the fuck out of your customer. By the time they've watched like this 3 to 7 minute VSL, they're so bought in that they're just ready to throw money at this problem. With this VSL method, you kind of structure your product as this like new mechanism, and it's just way better than the other products on the market. So yeah, overall, you could just charge a lot more than if you're generating your traffic through like 1 minute standard trendy UGC style ads. VSLs are also super good because you could create them 100% with AI pretty easily, and it's really not uncommon to do so. But anyways, now that you know why VSLs are so good, I'm going to be talking about how to actually write them. It's very important to note that VSLs are very different to UGC ads, and I don't want you to just think of a VSL as just like a longer UGC ad. The style is almost always written in the third person, and it usually feels like it's like a news story, documentary, or just kind of like this hidden secret that some authority figure uncovered. One of the other most important things is that you have to use repetition, especially in these really long videos that are like 3 to 7 minutes long. And again, in some cases, even up to like 9-10 minutes. You need to use repetition, because if you just insert your problem at the very start and you're not like constantly twisting the knife and just like opening the loop, closing the loop, opening the loop, closing the loop, in terms of like just going back and forth, problem, solution, and kind of inserting your product as this like new mechanism that's pretty much providing that transformation. But you have to use repetition to continuously twist that knife in terms of repeating your problem, like honestly, sometimes up to like 10 to 15 times, just written in different ways throughout the video. It's also super important that you dumb down the reading level. And this is generally just like what we do for any sort of ad. Even if you're launching UGC ads, you shouldn't be trying to use like fancy language. Just honestly, it's super easy with ChatGPT. You could throw your script in there if you've already finished it, tell it to rewrite it in like 6th grade English. You also have to really avoid shitty stock footage where at all possible. And honestly, this is what breaks a lot of people's VSLs, is just their visuals, because you have to understand that for every ad you create, especially in VSLs where it's like a longer video, you really need to be gaining their attention. And most of the time that's going to be through just like great visuals. So the visual itself should be pretty much telling the story for you. And then the script is obviously what they tune into, and that's where they like start to relate with what you're talking about. Your goal at the end of the day with VSLs is for people to really feel like, wow, they're talking exactly about what I'm facing right now. Like these are the exact problems I'm going through. And it's a lot easier to do this with VSLs because again, you're repeating the problem just over and over in different ways. So at one point it's going to resonate with them. But anyways, it's also super important that you create like 5 to 10 hooks, because VSLs in nature are just super long ads in general. So the most important part naturally is going to be the first few seconds, because if you could keep people past like 10 to 15 seconds, at least from what we've seen, our retention is pretty good on the videos. Sure, it continues to drop off, but once you get past that like 10 to 20 second mark, it kind of stabilizes a little bit more. So one of the biggest things that are responsible for your VSL performance is going to be your hooks. And I absolutely religiously test different hooks, both different visuals and different script portions of the hook. I do a lot more hook testing when I'm launching VSLs than with any other ad type, especially like UGC. Sometimes we only do 2 or 3 different hooks, but with VSLs, honestly, 5 to 10 different hooks. And I've just seen so many times where we actually have like a really good VSL, but one variation just completely flops and the other does really well just because it has a different hook. So if you launch VSLs and you're seeing like a really high CPM or just like overall just poor performance, try testing different hooks first before just scrapping the video completely. But now let's get into like kind of the most common structure for VSLs overall. And then I'm going to show you some of these video examples as well and just kind of skip through them just so you could get a good idea for like what makes a good VSL. And these VSLs I'm about to show you are all super high performing. They've been live for plenty of time. And they're also just very similar to the VSLs that we've launched for this brand specifically. So I'm going to break down this structure and then I'm going to kind of skim through these videos and you'll see this exact structure pretty much in all of these different examples. It might be presented a little bit differently, but pretty much it starts with a hook problem and then it inserts like an authority figure. So a lot of the time you might see this NASA scientist discovered this new breakthrough mechanism, and that's pretty much how you like intro your product. So it kind of inserts that authority figure, NASA scientist, Harvard researcher, anything like that that finds this like incredible discovery, which is going to be your product. And then you kind of insert this as like a breakthrough new product, new mechanism. Even if it's a saturated product that's been around for a while, you could kind of like structure it as like this breakthrough new thing, because honestly people aren't really paying attention that much. Like, even though you might be selling like a knee brace that people have seen everywhere, you could just kind of use your marketing brain to pretty much structure it and frame it as like this breakthrough new product. Then usually it gets into some testimonials, urgency, and call to action. So let me show you. The most important part is honestly the hook, problem, authority figure, and like introing like this new breakthrough discovery. So I'll show you that in these 4 examples here. So let me show you like this structure at play in these different examples, and you'll see that these examples are all following this common structure. Again, this is just like the winning VSL structure right now. If you're watching this video in like a few months' time, maybe it's not the winning structure anymore. But as of right now, in April 2025, this is the winning structure.
This terrifying scam just wiped out another family's life savings. Here's how to protect yours. A retired veteran from California has just exposed a banking scam.
So you already saw, they're already it already hooked you in. And then it automatically inserts like this retired veteran is talking about this scam, retired veteran from California. And then it's kind of twisting the knife on the problem. Like, not even the FBI or major banks can stop it. And again, you're at like 15 seconds in this video.
Can stop it. Right now, this scam is
really
taking over the nation. In the trick anyone can use to stop this bank scam.
And then what you'll see here, they insert even another authority figure, cybersecurity expert Mark Davis.
Cybersecurity expert Mark Davis. And the scariest part? The banks won't help.
Again,
but this retired veteran recently shared a strange trick anyone can use to stop this bank scam.
And then they're framing their product as like this strange new trick. And you'll also see like that kind of wording in general a lot of the time. As you can see here, like they're using it, this 5-second trick reversed my sleep apnea, but then it's like a 4-minute long VSL. But people are going to watch this 4-minute long VSL to find out what this 5-second trick is. And that's just exactly the same thing that they're doing here.
His entire savings.
Again, they're still
for the RFID scanner that can steal credit and debit card payments with Apple Pay. Google up these scammers is useless. Frank tested it, and he couldn't believe what happened.
And again, this is like a really long VSL. I'm pretty sure we're at like 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, it looks like they're just inserting the product around here, around like the 3-minute mark. That's one of the big mistakes that people make, is inserting their product like way too soon, because this hasn't seemed like an ad at all. Again, it seems like it's like a news story or like an investigative segment on like scammers stealing people's bank information and all this. And people are so bought into that problem already that by the time they get to like 3 minutes into the video, naturally they're already like a super warm lead. They're already super interested in what you're talking about here, and then you're inserting your product. Again, it just goes back to like you pre-qualifying the fuck out of your customer, because honestly, the nature of a VSL being like a longer video in general, these people are already bought in at this point. I'm going to show you this example here. Again, it's going to...
The 5-second trick reversed my sleep apnea literally overnight. I've been suffering from sleep apnea for 8 years now. I would wake up countless because my snoring was driving.
So this one is more so written in like the first person. And again, you can do this. I'm just saying with these rules, these overarching rules written in the third person, this is like overarching rules, but what you'll see here is they still follow the same structure here. So
driving her crazy. Really, I was severely depressed in a car accident. I totaled my
car accident because he wasn't sleeping. He tried nose strips, pills.
None of it. Worked years of medical stuff during sleep, but he did patients. Dr. Lieberman, who made...
Boom, they insert Dr. Lieberman, the authority figure. Once you learn that this is the structure of VSLs, you will literally see this everywhere. I can guarantee you. And honestly, like every VSL nowadays is just following this structure. Boom, they're talking about making a shocking discovery.
Shocking discoveries after 7 years of medical study.
After 7 years
when sleep
of research.
To strokes, hardly proven to stop. Got a full... I was now marriage recovered. Years.
Now his marriage is recovered. Kind of testimonial, pretty much showcasing that desired outcome. Anyways, moving on. What you'll also notice actually in these VSLs a lot of the time is they use this like hook headline text. And a lot of the time it's like white background, black text with like red that's highlighting certain things. Here they're using like red background, white text, whatever. But they do this a lot of the time, and I think this one had it as well. And pretty much this hook here is just like this 5-second trick. Even though it's a 4-minute long VSL, people want to figure out what that 5-second trick is. Same thing here. Can this tiny jaw device, and then it's like showing someone breathing through this thing. And if someone struggles with loud snoring, they're probably going to watch the first part of this video. Again, this one's just specifically targeting like hikers that have knee pain. So people are very aware of like what they're going to get in this video just based off of this hook text as well. So that's something that you might want to test in terms of like your hook in general. But let's get into this video.
Can a tiny jaw device really stop loud snores instantly?
I was on a plane once and there was a guy behind me.
They're already inserting, and although it's not like NASA scientists like they were doing in these previous ones, their authority figure in the case here is Joe Rogan.
And I would suffocate mouthpiece. I go like sliding back.
Right. 2,500 snoring year scientific study on 2,500.
So it seems like they also are inserting another, Avery Lieberman. So it's actually like, I think it's same Dr. Lieberman, whatever. Same specialist, whatever. Inserting their breakthrough discovery after doing tons and tons of research.
Made a shocking discovery after was shocked been clinically mouth guards than ever. He discovered that the reason we snore has.
And again, like this is the exact structure. If you want to know how to create a good VSL, make it with this structure. This is working right now. I can guarantee you, if you have good visuals and you write a good script and you do it with this structure, you're probably going to find some winning VSLs right now. Finally, let's just get into this last one down here. Anyways, let's get into this last one over here and see what
I've cracked the code to hiking without knee pain for good. A little backstory. My brother is a physical therapist.
So boom, it inserted the problem, which is like knee pain while hiking. And then obviously inserts the authority figure, which is in this case, my brother is a physical therapist
Who specializes in incredible stress on your knees, especially, and no wonder. And I could bear a couple of days. Support to keep your kneecap aligned during it up from amateur. The knee brace improves my back outer sides of my knee.
This
no
is
catching
just a
or
knee brace, but people like they're structuring this in a way that it's like this new product, new discovery.
locking in certain positions. The muscles right above my knee aren't sore. And you know that feeling when you're hiking downhill and your knee feels like it's going to give out at any moment? But what's worse, you're that person who's holding up the entire group, watching everyone else bound down the trail while you carefully inch your way down. At first, I doubted that a single knee brace could solve this issue, but imagine my surprise complete cure. All this one does. Plus, swelling and limited mobility were all related to my kneecap not tracking properly during hike.
But as you could see here, like they're doing like this repetition of like problem, solution. They're just like opening the loop, closing the loop. And that's pretty much what you have to be doing over and over. Again, this is just the common structure. If I were to make it like more detailed, it's probably like hook, problem, authority figure, their discovery, problem, solution, testimonial, problem, testimonial. Like that's probably the actual structure of what it would look like. But in general, this is like the most common structure. But anyways, yeah, that is the video. I hope if you made it to this point in the video that it's been valuable and that I haven't wasted your time. If you are targeting like an older demographic, I do recommend that you try to make VSLs if you aren't already. Do it right after this video. I want you to take action on what you just learned. Don't just like go back, click on the YouTube button and just look for another video. Actually take action on this, especially if you're targeting an older demographic. Go find some VSLs that you could, get their transcript, study them, figure out this is the structure. You'll see it over and over again, trust me. And then just go ahead, rip some transcripts and pretty much tell ChatGPT to make this structure for your product. Obviously, you need to feed it tons of information first, but this video is not about how to use ChatGPT. Anyways, hopefully this has been valuable to you, and I will see you in the next video.